The quest for Kazuma Uka will become available once you have completed this quest series, beginning with the approachable Pelu. Level 90 to Urqopacha. The approachable Pelu is awaiting your question. What is it you'd like to know? My main concern was confirming the state of the road ahead. As I recall, to reach Urqopacha, we depart from the Arch of the Dawn and take the road west. I clicked on it by accident. That is indeed the way to Urqopacha. After the damage wrought by the recent downpour, however, you'll be doing more stumbling than walking. Do take heart. When it comes to rugged terrain, we have a most dependable solution available. Come with me. We'll be back to talk to you in good time, friend Hanu. Meanwhile, you can eat and drink your fill at Balyavtai. It's all been arranged. I forget there's the front, huh? Alan Mark. Consultation. I introduce you to our most dependable companion, the alpaca. These animals can traverse Urqopacha's steep mountain trails as if they were gentle fields, and all while carrying heavy loads. Our merchants would be lost without them. So they fill much the same niche as our chocobos back home. You don't have alpacas in Eorzea? Alpacas are native to Yogg-Toral. Eorzea has its chocobos, and the eastern lands have their horses. Why go to the trouble of breeding another pack beast in a place of which ill suits its qualities and where it is not needed anyway? But must we ride these little monsters? I get the impression you aren't fond of alpacas. When I was small and being a bit naughty, I went around pulling on their wool. One of them spat on me, and it was the foulest stench you can imagine. Haha, I see. What do they like to ride? Alpacas bred as mounts are inquisitive and docile. Even those without experience find them easy to handle. We're really doing this then. So was my information useful to you? Aye, yes, very helpful, even if it wasn't what I wanted to hear. Good, I'll take my payment now. You want me to pay you? I guess I should have expected as much from a Pelu merchant. Let me see what I have on me. Pelu value the act of spreading joy through trade, as you should know. They take pride in making deals that benefit both parties. Here you go, a fair price for your fair advice. Yes, I made a trade with the third promise herself. My friends will never believe this. Shall be on my way now. I wish you safe travels. Off you go then, and thank you. Better not get spit on again. Brought that on yourself. Remain calm and gentle, and so will they. Still not happy about this, but if we need to ride alpacas to reach Urqopacha, then that's what we'll do.
Turali poets of yore sang of a mountain that would stand tall, even should all other lands sink beneath the sea. Indomitable and eternal, it arises from Urqopacha, the 100 peaks of time. Of all the beasts which crawl and fly, only the legendary Valigarmanda could hope to disturb the summit's serene majesty. Yet, with that flying calamity imprisoned by the Dawn Serpent, what great feat remains for those who would claim the throne?
Dawntrail, Urqopacha.
So this is Urqopacha. I've never actually been here before.
The air is so crisp and clear. Mountains everywhere you look.
That one massive peak in particular has quite the presence. It puts me in mind of Som-Al.
That is Urqopacha, the tallest mountain in Yogg-Tural. Its sheer height makes it an imposing climb. But there are other reasons the ambitious keep their distance.
Oh? Do tell.
Where to begin?
Excuse me, but you're Urqopacha, are you not? I hadn't thought to encounter one of the Dawn's promise here of all places. But I should introduce myself. I am Bolnok, a weaver by trade.
Well met, Bolnok. We're on our way to Urqopacha.
Oh, truly, I've just come from there, as it happens. I'd asked the Pelu who sell me their wool to give me a tour of their alpaca ranch. The head rancher and I shared a bottle of mezcal while he explained the finer points of wool production.
Mezcal, is that a local beverage?
It's an Urqopacha specialty. A spirit made from distilled agave heart juice.
Gila.
Yes, and it must have done wonders for my mood, for I tripled my usual order of alpaca wool. They did offer me a discount, though, so it wasn't a bad deal in the end. But listen to me, boring you with my tedious stories. I will leave you before you are lulled to sleep. Goodbye, and safe travels. Oh, silly me. I almost forgot to say the thing I actually wanted to say. Peace for Tural. I agree with your vision, Third Promise. You have my support in your bid for the throne.
I gather from his tale we would be foolish to underestimate Pelu merchants.
Yes, they do more than run the markets in Tuliolal. Pelu peddlers can be found everywhere in Tural, traveling from place to place on their sturdy alpacas. They are effusive and engaging speakers, and many's the customer who's been talked into spending more than they bargained for.
They won't find this customer so easily charmed.
Urqopacha's down the path! Off the main road! Don't get lost!
It's right there.
This is it. Urqopacha, home of the Pelu. Urqopacha should have arrived before us. That's not good. You've come all this way for the right of succession? Oh, so this means I'm exchanging words with the future Dawn servant. Geez, the outcome is far from decided, but it is a possibility. How fortunate, then, that I deal in cloaks woven from especially luxurious alpaca wool. Such a garment would look magnificent when draped over the shoulders of our budding ruler. The nation's ruler should dress her best for her adoring people, yes? Finery for our finest lady, that's right. Come, third promise, my well-stocked shelves are but a few steps away. Finest lady, hey, I like the sound of that. Alright, I suppose a quick look wouldn't hurt. What did we just talk about? Aaronville, when did you... Ah, Shatona from far off Zaktaral. Northern winters are bitterly cold affairs, I'm told. I could not imagine how you survived them without a lovely warm cloak of quality alpaca wool. No, thank you. I'm not in need of new clothes at the moment, and neither is the third promise. Perhaps another time. Of course. My shop door is always open. You were saying something about not being easily charmed? I was just... As I mentioned previously, the Pelu people live for bringing happiness through trade. They won't cheat you or sell you defective goods. They will, however, disarm you with their deft turns of phrase, and unwitting customers like Urqopacha fall prey to this affable approach time and time again. Your only recourse is a clear and firm refusal. They won't pursue the matter should you make your disinterest plain. Valuable insight into the minds of the Pelu. Let us all take Aaronville's words at caution to heart. Level 90 to Urqopacha. Complete. Level 90, Traders of Happiness. Urqopacha is ready to search out the Dawn Servant's Elector. Not my finest moment, I'll admit, but now that we're here, let's do what we came to do, find the Elector. Allow me to propose a strategy, then. Kral, Alizé, and I will speak with the merchants. Urqopacha, you and Aaronville might try approaching travelers and passers-by. Pray investigate any of the other establishments which catch your eye. Should we learn aught of use, let us relay it to the third promise. Not either right catches my eye. The Dawn Servant's Elector? Ah, I thought you were a new face in town, here for the right of succession, I take it. Me, I don't much care for who sits the throne so long as they keep Taral peaceful. People tend not to be in the mood to relax and sip our excellent mezcal once arrows and spears start flying, if you know what I mean. Speaking of which, would you like a cup? A joy shared is a joy doubled, I say. Oh, right, yes, you were asking about the Elector business. Being but freshly returned from my trading route, I've heard that there's a contest afoot, but not much else. Our head ledger, Tobal, could probably tell you more about it. Electors? Oh yes, I've heard all about the right of succession. They're looking to put a new ruler on the throne, eh? Personally, I'm rooting for Zoral Ja. If the first promise wins, he'll look to expand our sphere of influence. That means access to more resources and more customers, in the thousands column, potentially, so many new trading opportunities to spread happiness far and wide. Others have been coming around to my way of thinking, so I've begun crafting goods inspired by the resilient sun. Would you care to purchase something? Please, just answer my question. No, I would not. Very well, you said you wanted to know about the Elector. I could help you, but I won't. can tell you're no supporter of his oral jaw or his policies. That was pointless. Hello there, I'm Ma Blue. Did you have a question for me? Sorry, I don't know about any electors. You should take a moment to see our prized alpacas before you leave, though. Oh, but be sure to admire them from a respectable distance. Get too close and our nervous darlings may be tempted to spit on you, and that stuff stinks. Happened to a visiting buyer not so long ago. Tobley, that's the head rancher, was so mad at me for not giving a proper warning. No one makes a mistake without Tobley noticing. He knows everything that happens on this ranch. Tobley's a good boy. All right. You really have to watch yourself around these silver-tongued peddlers. I almost bought a bottle of mezcal and a stack of blankets, and then there was this enchanting ornament. Anyway, I did manage to learn that Tobley is the man to talk to about the contest. Now, if only they'd share where this head ledger of theirs is to be found. Really? He's also the head rancher. Well, the alpaca ranch is not far from here. I say we pay it a visit before the others return. No flight. That is a lot of alpacas. Still, we know the head ledger could be here somewhere. I can't let fear deter me. Not to say that I'm scared, of course. Excuse me, is one of these workers Tobley? Tobley, oh yes, he likes to mingle with the ranch hands and keep an eye on things. I can't tell you which one he is, though. You can't? Is this part of the contest? All I can say is that Tobley often mentions his favorite pungent subject. He also can't resist a profitable trade, though who among us could, am I right? Still, if you bring him a very good deal, he might let his identity slip. Yeah, so it's like a game. Easy enough, all I have to do is offer Tobley a deal he can't ignore, no problem at all. Well, maybe one problem. I don't think my purse is deep enough to pay everyone we think might be Tobley. Let's ask some questions first to narrow down the field. Great, we can meet back here to share our impressions. Well, obviously I'm not Tobley. I mean, oops, I shouldn't have said that. You're meant to find out for yourself who Tobley is, or if an elector is even in the village at all. Good luck. Ah, a visitor from across the salt, if I'm not mistaken. Be warned, the alpacas will spit if you startle them. I suggest you keep your movements slow and deliberate. My Tobley? Yes, that's me. Excellent work from the third promise and her entourage. Sharp instincts. Shall we commence the rite of succession then? You think I might be Tobley? Ha, well, maybe I am. All I will say is that in this village, none have reared more alpacas than I. I see we're both done with our interrogations. So who do you think it is? I have my suspicions, but let's hear your pick. Diligent ranch hand, the boastful ranch hand, nonchalant ranch hand. With the diligent one. Oh, the worker so intent on stable chores. I had my eye on that one too. Time to rip the mask off our mystery ranch hand, so to speak. We know it's you, Tobley, and to prove it, I propose a deal. A generous sum of coin for confirmation of your true identity. An offer I gladly accept. As you have correctly guessed, I am indeed Tobley, a head ledger of Wachampello, head rancher of the family ranch. I'm also one of Gulu Jaja's chosen electors. Aha, and a place featured in Tuliolo's saga, just as we thought. I was right to trust in your instincts, and I wager this won't be the last time. She found you out fair and square, Tobley. And I'm glad she did. Would have been a pity had her bid ended here.
Deducing the Dawnservant's elector was the first step of the feat. Too simple a task for this aspiring ruler, eh?
Right. Not hard at all. Zorolja.
I am told the head ledger, Tobley, is to be found here.
You have to guess which one of us is Tobley. That's part of the test.
You're Tobley.
Without even asking a single question. Very impressive indeed.
You did see us talking to him.
With that amusing prologue out of the way, we can proceed to the actual challenge. Per the Dawnservant's instructions, I was free to devise any manner of feat. I considered a number of possibilities in the 10th column. But I think I have a good one. You must go forth and capture for me an alpaca.
While I've not had the best experiences with alpacas, aren't they generally docile creatures? That doesn't sound like much of a challenge.
Bring out the example! This is a special kind of alpaca. Would you please approach the animal, Third Promise?
Who? Me? Well, it should stay calm if I stay calm, right? That's what Erinville said.
Saw that coming.
The little monster spat on me! Oh, that stinks. I can't.
Alpacas are paradoxical creatures, being both extremely curious and extremely cowardly. Press your luck when they're frightened, and you'll get a face full of spit, as you've all just witnessed. Has an awful stench, their expectoration. The globs contain half-digested food, you see, making it an effective deterrent against perceived threats.
Wild valley braid like this one are especially timid and can therefore be quick to lash out. They're also especially hardy.
Indeed. We take the rugged wild alpacas and breed them with our gentle domesticated stock. This produces the strong but biddable pack animals prized by our traveling merchants.
That's all well and good, but did I need to bathe an alpaca spit for you to make your point?
So, the task is to catch a wild alpaca.
That is correct. But be warned that it is a feat easier said than done. I suggest you prepare well before you enter the valley where the creatures dwell. And by you, I mean the claimants only. Allies are not permitted to assist with the catching. The alpacas will help me judge which of you is worthy of receiving a keystone.
So I'm to chase down a fluffy, spitting demon, and that somehow proves I'm fit to rule?
As I said, the Dawn Servant granted me the freedom to decide my challenge. And when you reach the end of the rite, I dare say you will understand why I chose what I chose.
Very well. This won't take long.
Wait! Didn't I warn you this was easier said than done? There are preparations to be made, factors to consider.
A beast is a beast. All yield to strength.
So far, this experience has done absolutely nothing to improve my opinion of alpacas. But that doesn't mean I can't do this. Revolting spit aside, they're just another animal.
Are you all right, Urqopacha? We thought we heard you scream.
The third promise does not scream. It was more of a startled yelp.
Scream, in other words.
Did you find the Elector?
Oh, we certainly did.
All right. I had to go and wash that nasty stuff off my face. I think I got all of it. Would you mind taking a sniff from me just to make sure? The stench has ruined my sense of smell. Hey, I saw that look. Level 90, Traders of Happiness, complete. Level 90, the Feet of Gold. Aaronville wishes to discuss the Feet of Gold. As Urqopacha helped demonstrate, the valley alpaca are wary of people. Getting close enough to catch one will not be an easy task. You might have warned me about that earlier. I have enough trouble with tame alpacas. How do you expect me to wrangle a wild one? With the proper saddle, we infuse the leather with a relaxing scent that soothes the spitting beast. Wonderful. Give me one of those, then. Have you perhaps forgotten we are a clan of merchants? If you want a taming saddle, then you'll need to find a saddler and make them an offer. They don't come cheap, of course. Crafting a saddle will cost you the equivalent of 10 pel and the thousands of columns. You mean 10,000 pel? I don't have that kind of coin. According to Gil, that comes to around 1 million or so. Mayhap if we all pitch in. No, this is my feat to accomplish. I wouldn't feel right about having others pay the cost. I'll find the money somehow. In that case, that basket of wool is worth the sum you paid me earlier, 1 pel in the hundreds column. Beginning with the wool, you can trade for ever more valuable goods until you have something suitable to bargain with for the saddle. It's a nice gesture, but you think I can turn 100 pel into 1 million? That's 10,000 times more. We need 10,000 pel, not 1 million, so we're looking at 100 times more. Oh, right, I panicked and got confused with Alphinaud's million gil. I'm not so sure about this trading idea. You were almost talked into buying a cloak you didn't need mere moments after you arrived. But I hate it when you're right. Let me help you with your deal making. Hello again. Mablu, I work here as a ranch hand, but I've also learned a lot about the peddler profession. It's all right if I aid them now, yes? I guided the claimants towards the first step of the feat like you asked. As long as Urqopacha goes alone to capture her alpaca, she is free to accept assistance from whomever she likes. Great, let's see about getting you that saddle then, Third Promise. I don't know why you made your offer, but I could use an ally with a beak for bargains. Welcome aboard, Mablu. Did the rest of us stay behind, perhaps? It may be easier to haggle over prices without so many voices chiming in. Yeah, stay here and pitch in with the ranch work. With Mablu gone, I'll need extra hands to tend to the alpacas. Gladly, although Zilly, I think you should go with Urqopacha. You've seen markets and bazaars the world over and surely have sage advice to share. In that case, you should also hold on to the alpaca wool. If it's misplaced or soiled in some way, you'll have nothing to bargain with. As if I'd do such a thing, but I'll leave the wool with Zilly anyways. The better to keep my hands free. To begin, I suggest we try trading the wool to Havel, the saddler. He won't agree to the deal, of course, but it'll give us an idea of how much he'll accept for his wares. All right. Something I can do for you? We've come to bargain. I need one of your special taming saddles to catch a wild alpaca. Saddle it is, and how will you be paying for it? This basket of fine alpaca wool. What use does a saddle maker have for wool? Besides, this would barely cover the cost of a single strap buckle. Offer me something I actually want. What might that be? Mescal, I'd like to nurse a cup at day's end while I inspect my finished work. Bring me a jug of quality stuff and you've got yourself a deal. This bodes well for us. Third promise, such mescal can be had for only 5 pel in the thousands column. Need half as much as we thought. Hold on. Did you say third promise? Then my offer has changed. The saddle is going to cost you a jug of premium mescal, aged 3 years at least. 3 years? That stuff is valued at 10,000 pel or more. Why have you doubled the price? Because I must support the man of ambition who will see my business prosper. Zor Jah will go to war and his cavalry will need saddles. Lots of saddles. Nothing personal, third promise, but I won't sell you my craft for anything less than my asking price. Can't say that I blame him. I'm known for championing peace, and peace is unlikely to bring in more customers. Those of our grandparents' generation remember the dark days when the clans were at war. Many of these Pelu pray for your victory, Urqopacha. The younger ones, though, to them, strife and bloodshed are as children's stories. They think themselves safe from these horrors and take the peace we now enjoy for granted. Still others are unsatisfied with this quiet prosperity and crave the future the second promise envisions. They've become obsessed with innovations like the dirigibles and have made trade swift and easy. Then you have those like Havli, convinced that the first promise's plans for conquest will afford them opportunities for greater profit. What about you, my blue? Aren't you of the younger generation? At least a year or two younger than me, I'd say. Oh, I was raised on the old tales. I memorized the accounts of what it was like when Urqopacha ruled our village. That's why I offered to help. I want you to become Dawn Servant, to keep our nation from going back to the way it was. Well then, I guess I'd better make sure I win the contest. The type of mescal the saddle maker wants is so very expensive. Weren't we expecting to need 10,000 pel from the outset? Nothing's changed. We just need to get on with it. I may not have heard a head for trade or the stomach for alpacas, but I won't give up with a piece of Tuliolo on the line. Oh. And neither will I. We will make you Dawn Servant. Aiming for that 10,000 pel jug right away will only bring us failure and frustration, so let's first try exchanging the wool for anything even a touch more valuable. The trick is to find someone who needs alpaca wool and is willing to trade at a loss to acquire it. Someone who supports your bid for the throne, for instance. Of course, the Weaver. Polnock was his name, I believe. Went out of his way to say he agreed with my vision and he was here to buy wool. I think I remember the direction he was going, but for now let's head back to the road where we first met him. I don't know. Ooh, why am I yawning so much? Excuse me. This is the spot. After Bolnock talked to us, he walked off to the south. And he was probably going to Kuvelo's Inn. Most visitors to Wakhan Bello end up there. Let's go and check, shall we? Can I have that basket? Thanks. Now let's see if we can turn a profit. Olnog, I am glad we found you. Are you interested in making a trade? Third promise. You wish to do business with me? Might I ask what this is all about? I see. So the goal is to turn that basket of wool into a jug of 3-year-old premium mezcal. And allow me to invest in your efforts. Peace in Tyrol is what allows me to cross freely into the lands of my suppliers. Naturally, I would prefer that one pledge to preserve that peace will win the throne. Thus do I humbly offer you this wool poncho, a small token that I pray contributes to your victory. Oh, that's fine craftsmanship. A garment like that would easily fetch 5 pel in the hundreds column. That's very generous, Bolnog. Thank you, I promise. I won't let you down. I have every faith in you, Third Promise. May fortune bless your future dealings. Can't believe you quintupled your investment with your first deal. We're off to a spectacular start. Only because Zilly remembered our weaver friend, all I did was hand over the wool. It's not true. The connections you build with people are vital. This is one of the most fundamental precepts of trading, one which you've instinctively mastered. You think so? I know so. Now let's take our 500 pel poncho and trade it in for something even more valuable. Here, you take the poncho. If I lost it somehow, Aaronville would never let me hear the end of it. All set, our next deal is waiting to be found. $100 pel to 500 pel, nice. Success, you traded a 100 pel basket of alpaca wool for a 500 pel wool poncho. We turned 100 pel into 500. I know it's only 5 times more, but it feels like 500 times more. Leveraging connections is a sound strategy, but we should also consider supply and demand. An individual in urgent need of a good poncho will offer more than a merchant simply looking to stock his shelves. That makes sense, but how do we know if someone needs a poncho? They aren't wearing one. They have a fabulous sense of style. It's a nice sturdy poncho, but the design is traditional. I don't think fashion is part of its appeal. Only those people with practical need would be interested. Wait, that's the obvious answer, isn't it? We look for a person without a poncho and hope they're eager to buy ours. Yes, there you go. We find the demand for our supply. So where should we begin our search for prospective buyers? There are any number of places, but we could do worse than starting right here at the end. There might be interested travelers. Who here needs a poncho? A lot of Mamulja hardly wear anything to begin with. Those are probably Landsguard or sell swords. Mamulja who soldier for a living preferred to not to wear much above the waist. It hampers their movements. But even if they have bared shoulders, Mamulja carrying arms can be struck off the list. Guess we gotta click on them until we find one. That's a Landsguard, probably drop by the inn to take a break between patrols. This one's already fully dressed, an artisan or peddler perhaps. Come to rest after visiting Wachanpelo like Bolnock would be my guess. That Mumulja is armed. Could be a Depro courier. I've seen them flying their weavers. And those types aren't fond of excessive clothing either. Excuse me. Let's see, no coat or cloak, but also no weapons. Oh, we might have a winner. Oh there, friend. You're not a mercenary by trade, right? I was curious about your bold choice of dress, or lack thereof. Oh, it was no choice of mine, believe me. I was attacked by beasts on the way here and barely escaped with my scales intact. My coat was not so lucky. I'm actually a toolmaker from Tuliolo and was dressed quite smartly, all the better to show the Pelu I'm a man who takes pride in his appearance, and therefore his work as well. But now look upon me. Well, sir, this is your lucky day. What a splendid poncho. This would be the perfect replacement for the coat I lost. We'd be willing to part with it if you'd like to make a trade for one of your fine tools, perhaps? What about this hatchet? I crafted it myself and will vouch for its quality. Blade looks sharp. The heft well made. I'd value it at 1 pel in the thousands column. Upgrade. Whoa, from 500 to 1,000. We have a deal. Wonderful. A fine garment such as this should put me on even footing with any Pelu merchant. Like the eponymous power Miplu's mate garden for one. Her field hands use hatchets to harvest the mate, and I thought to impress her with the tool I sold you. No matter, I have other wares to sell. Glad I am to have met you. Did you hear that? We've already found our next buyer. To Miplu's mate garden we go. Yes, but it's a fair distance on foot. We should take alpacas. These ones will be the calm type, right? 500 to 1,000. Success. You traded a 500 pel wool poncho for 1,000 pel hatchet. Go get some tea. Well done recognizing that toolmaker as a potential customer. If you've a mind to change professions, you'd make an excellent merchant. Level 90, the feet of gold, complete. Level 90, Mablu's dream. Urqopacha steals herself for the ride to find your next trading partner. Before we get moving, you should be the one to hold this. That I suppose we should hop on the alpacas Mablu has so kindly provided. Ready to go? Let's mount up. In the alpaca ride, yes. It's off to the mate fields we go. Mate or mate? Please don't spit, please don't spit. It'll be fine, these ones are accustomed to people. I still don't trust them. You have a knack for riding no matter what you say. Without our alpaca friends, we Pelu would never have become traveling merchants. Can you imagine walking all the way across Tyrol? I swear that mountain is too tall to be real. Urqopacha, wasn't that the name? Forbidding sight, isn't it? One I've never appreciated up close. You have to take the long way around the cliffs to get there. It's to the highlands belonging to the Yakhoi. So Mablu, you said you were learning about the peddler profession. You don't care for ranch work? No, I love it. I love working with alpacas. But becoming a peddler has always been a dream of mine. Just, I'm not sure I have the talent for it. If I can help you buy the taming saddle, though, then it'd be proof that I can do this after all. In that case, you'd best get ready to be a merchant. Look, we're almost there. Cactus. Not a cactuar. Yeah, how do you get some coffee? We made it, and without a single smelly incident. I sent the alpacas back to Kulo's Inn, so we'll walk along the main road when we return to the village. Speaking of roads to travel, you were adopted by the Dawn Servant, weren't you, Third Promise? That I was. And perhaps you understand, I was an orphan too, you see. Tobley took me in. He took in all the ranch hands, actually. All of them? Yes, and everyone works hard at their chores, grateful for the opportunity to repay the head ledger's generosity. Yet here I am, the only one wanting to go off and be a merchant. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm telling you this. We need to keep trading things for your saddle if you prepare for the feet of gold. As it's mate harvesting season, they can't have too many quality hatchets. Add to that Urqopacha's way with people, and we should have no trouble making a favorable deal. That's Miplu herself over there. Pass the hatchet to the Third Promise, and let's get to bargaining. You have that little axe for me? He asked you for it. Thanks, now to see what we can get for it. You're Miplu, the owner of these fields. I have a mind to trade if you're interested. Well, the Third Promise. I might be convinced to entertain a proposal. What do you have in offer? This hatchet, forged by a seasoned artisan, the razor edge of this exceptional tool will make light work of your crops. The quality is acceptable, I suppose. I offer you a large sack of mate leaves in exchange. A sack of mate leaves is valued at 1 pel in the thousands column, the same price as the hatchet. This deal would bring us no closer to the mescal. If I may, Mistress Miplu, it's harvesting season, is it not? Does not the demand for hatchets afford them a higher value? It is indeed the season, which is why I procured an ample batch of tools well in advance. We've missed the window for demand. In that case, we'll have to fall back on connections. Think of it this way, a generous deal here will put you in the Third Promise's good graces. Surely that's worthy of consideration. I do not wish to give offense, but I must tell you that I stand with the Second Promise. His innovations will improve every aspect of our lives, I believe, including farming, and I will no longer have need of hatchets. I assure you that I have nothing but respect for Urqopacha. That is why I'm prepared to purchase a spare hatchet at a fair price. I suppose it is fair, given your reasons, but we ourselves would be no better off for the transaction. How about this, then? If we were to help bring in your harvest, would you give us a better deal? As a matter of fact, I would. Until Koana's reforms come about, I can always use more hands in the fields. You can go ahead and add our labor to the bargain. Added value to tip the scales. How could I have forgotten one of the most basic rules of trading? You can rest here if you like, Mablu. Zilly and I have mate together. Oh no, I'm helping too. Off to the fields then, and mind you pick the healthy leaves. I'll take 5 good bundles from each of you. Luckily, I'm an accomplished harvester. Ooh, the botany life for me. Yeah, okay, here we go. You brought me some leaves then? Verdant leaf. An acceptable harvest. We'll see how your companions fared before I make any decisions, though. Here, we brought our share as well. Thank you, Third Promise. This is more than enough to hold up your end of the bargain. Now it's time to honor mine. After adding the value of your labor to the price of the hatchet, I'm prepared to offer you a full sack of our highest grade mate leaves. Premium mate, bought at the shop. One sack of those leaves would cost no less than 5 pel in the thousands column. Then we can bid farewell to this hatchet. I'll give it a good home. Talk of the contest aside, I'm glad we could come to a mutually agreeable trade. As am I. All the best with the rest of your harvest. Mablu, what's wrong? As I was saying before, even after everything Tobley's done for me, I'm planning to abandon it all and become a merchant. And I needed your help after forgetting a basic rule of trade. How can I expect Tobley to accept my decision then? Have you mentioned your plans to leave? So you intend to give up then? I can't. After getting a taste of real trading, I want to be a merchant more than ever. And you'll just have to be honest. I seek to follow in my father's footsteps, but not because he expects it of me. I want to preserve Tyrall's peace, and becoming Dawn's servant happens to be the best way to do it. You should live a life of your own choosing, and I wouldn't be surprised if Tobley held the same opinion, so talk to him. You're right, it's better to find out for sure than worry over what he might say. Thank you for the advice. But first, we have a saddle to buy. I want that success under my belt so I can be sure of my decision. What's next, then? We try to trade our tea leaves for something halfway to 10,000 pel? I think we're close enough now. I say we go straight for the premium mezcal. Bargain our way into double the value, eh? Think you can do it? Trust me, I will make this trade work. I admire you, Third Promise. That you're holding your own against such strong competition for the throne is inspiring. Am I really holding my own against Gona and Zoraja? I mean, of course I am. I'm Urqopacha of the Dawn's Promise, after all. Level 90, Mablu's Dream, complete. Excellent trade, 1,000 pel to 5,000 pel. Top grade mate leaves. Success, you traded 1,000 pel hatchet for 5,000 pel sack of top grade mate leaves. Teammates. Okay. Level 90, a premium deal. Urqopacha has her eye on a jug of premium mezcal. Before we go, let me give you the mate leaves. I don't need to risk proving Ehrenfeld's point. Ready then? Our next stop is a mezcal distillery. We want to speak with a man by the name of Gobley. Even among his fellow distillers, he's regarded as a master of the craft. He knows the value of his product, so if we're to convince him to trade for twice what the leaves are worth, we're going to need targeted information. That means asking around and taking in the gossip. You could talk to people here in the distillery, Zilly. Perhaps Urqopacha could do the same at the village entrance. Meanwhile, I'll head to the north side and see what I can learn. There's not much I can say about Gobley, but I can tell you what Gobley's been saying. The other day, he was muttering about monsters prowling around Agave Jaws. That's the field where they gather ingredients for the mezcal. Their presence has made it harder to procure said ingredients, and thus driven up the price of his product. A boon, some might argue, but it's hard to celebrate when it affects the work as it does. Can't rightly bring joy to people if you can't keep making the thing they love. You're gonna have to go kill some stuff. Gobley might be a deft hand at distilling, but he's got no sense when it comes to appearances. Rumor has it he's been invited to the palace for business negotiations. If he presents himself to the court wearing his usual rumpled attire, though, he'll be laughed out of Sunperch. Me? I'm a chef from Tuliolol. I've often come here to buy a Gobley's mezcal, the finest in Tyrol, according to my customers. He always brings out a jug during our dealings, but I can't handle the stuff too well myself. I take small sips, not wanting to be impolite, you understand, but still end up so addled as to agree to whatever price he quotes me. It'd be nice to have less, potent refreshments during such conversations, else I might have to seriously reconsider our arrangement. So, what did you find out? Oh, we can make use of all those tidbits. The deal is as good as sealed. As for me, I found out where Gobley is working. There's a millstone at the top of the slope behind the distillery. You go on ahead and I'll bring Urqopacha. Booze. Need booze. Not in the right spot. Have to go higher. Gotta go higher. There's a building right there. I thought it might be something else. How do we get up there? There we go. That should be stairs, like right. Yeah, path right there. Because I'm an idiot. You have business with me? Why don't we talk down below so as not to distract the alpaca from his work? Now, what's this about? Keep it brief, if you would. I'm a busy man. We're in the market for a 3-year-old jug of premium mezcal, assuming you have any on hand, that is. Ah, an excellent choice. I must warn you, though, it doesn't come cheap. We don't have a pel, but we can offer a sack of mate leaves in exchange. It's top-grade stuff like the mezcal. No deal. Mate leaves are well and good, but I don't have any use for them. No deal, just like that. Still, I'd hate to send you away empty-handed. Why don't we sit and chat a while over a cup of mezcal? Now the real bargaining begins. Which of our cards do you want to play first? Hubigo Chef's distaste for strong drink. Gobley's invitation to the palace. Monsters in the agave. I appreciate your hospitality, but I'm afraid I can't hold my drink. I've heard one of your regular customers, Hubigo Chef, is the same. Seeing as not everyone can enjoy mezcal, I wonder if you might benefit from having other refreshments to offer. Something like mate tea, for instance, and brewed from the finest leaves, of course. Ah, you're right, absolutely right. I had noticed a growing reluctance on the part of my Hubigo friend, but did not realize I myself was to blame. I must endeavor to be a better host. Still, even with that added value in mind, no sack of leaves is worth the mezcal you're after. Do we offer to call the monsters causing them trouble? Not yet. Not yet. We'll keep that card up our sleeve until we need it. As I expect you're aware, the rite of succession is currently taking place. That's why the third primus has graced us with her presence. When the contest is decided, the subsequent ascension ceremony and banquet will be a prestigious affair. If your mezcal were to be served there, it would bring your distillery immeasurable fame. Wait, could it be that your rumored invitation to the palace is to discuss that very possibility? As a matter of fact, yes, I must admit I'm still reeling from the abruptness of it all. It would be great honor and opportunity if I can secure the deal. Well, I should think your exceptional mezcal would speak for itself. That said, there's no such thing as being too prepared, and first impressions last. You'll want to be wearing your very best when you walk into Volok Shunsa. It would be such a shame to miss this chance of a lifetime simply for want of proper garments. That it would. Are you saying you have garments to offer? Something ideal for court? We have no garments on hand, I'm afraid, but we can provide you with the next best thing, an introduction to a weaver. His name is Bolnok, and his works are highly regarded in Tuliolol. As a supporter of Urqopacha and keen observer of palace politics, he will doubtless be happy to guide you in the selection of an outfit to fit this golden occasion. It is certainly a tempting proposal, and one of which I should like to take full advantage, but the scales still aren't quite balancing. Hey, weren't there monsters running amok in agave jaws? That's a problem we could easily solve for you. Truly, I would be most grateful for your immediate assistance. I was resigned to hiring sellswords to clear them out. Factoring in that saved expense and an introduction to Trusted Weaver, this is shaping up to be a sound bargain. All right, you have a deal. Yes, I knew you'd come around. Give us a moment, and Dilly and I will take care of those prowling nuisances. In the meantime, I'll use the time to pen an introductory letter to Bolnok. Field you're looking for just north of Huacunpelo. Be safe. Huacunpelo? Probably said it a few times. I just can't. That should be Agave Jaws just over there. This will go faster if we split up. Come and find me once you finish clearing out your share of the pest. I didn't realize we got some coffers. 45. Yeah, well, not as good as the stuff. Destination. Practically glowing. Compared to the creatures I hunted with Papa, this was no challenge at all. Come on, let's head back to the distillery. All that's left is to give Ma Blue the sack of leaves so she can seal the deal. Easily stroll. Those monsters were no trouble for you, it seems. Now, if I could just have the sack of leaves. Thank you for looking after our precious trading goods. Monster problem has been resolved, Master Gobley. Here are the mate leaves and a written introduction to Bolnock as agreed. And the deal is done. Here, your jug of premium mezcal, aged 3 years. Please accept it with my compliments. Yes, we finally have the mezcal. Great work, especially you, Mablu. You were the one that inspired me to come this far, Third Promise, but let's not celebrate until we have the saddle in hand. Mablu, is it? You drive a hard bargain, young peddler. I look forward to doing business with you in the future. Thank you, but truth be told, I'm just a ranch hand for now. Should I ever become a proper merchant, though, I'll be back to strike more deals with you. Level 90, a premium deal complete. Excellent trade, 5,000 pel for 10,000 pel. Here, premium mezcal. Success, you traded a 5,000 pel sack of top grade mate leaves for a 10,000 pel jug of premium mezcal. Nice. Level 90, Urqopacha in the saddle. Urqopacha is ready to return to Hovli. Even at the palace, I don't think I've held a 10,000 pel jug of anything before. My hands won't stop shaking. Here, you better hold on to it until we get to the saddle maker. Can you imagine if we dropped it and had to start all over again? Luckily, Hovli's base is not far. We just need to head across the plaza. This is it, the trade we've been working towards. Phew, still in one piece, right? Time to make our deal. Get your tools ready, Saddler. We brought your precious mezcal. Wait, you actually got your hands on a jug, but you had nothing, a few measly clumps of wool. We had was an aspiring trader with a gift for negotiation. Although I'd sooner aid no claimant but Zorolja, I cannot go against the guiding principles of the Pelu Pelu. Trade as a fair one, I will craft your saddle, third promise. Great. Stay and wait if you like. I have all the requisite materials, so this won't take long. The commission is ready. Catching a wild alpaca is never a simple affair, but you'll have an easier time of it with one of my saddles. Now, if you don't mind, I have other work that needs finishing. Ah, I can taste that smooth mezcal already. We did it! The saddle is ours! And to think we started out with only a 100-pel basket of alpaca wool. Mablu, you are going to be an incredible merchant. Thank you. It makes me so glad to hear you say that, third promise. We got what we came for, so let's return to the ranch. The others will be waiting. Feat accomplished. Success, you traded a 10,000-pel jug of premium mezcal for a taming saddle. Made the mistake of starting one and caught a glob of spittle for my trouble. I'm beginning to understand Urqopacha's aversion to the animals. You've acquired the saddle then? Yes, and thanks in no small part to Mablu. Before you rush off to catch an alpaca, though, let me teach you how to saddle one. I'll bring out one of our wild-born friends so you can practice. I know, this is something I need to learn. Like, look into the eyes of pure evil. Great sunken gods, I did it. He hardly seemed bothered, much less inclined to spit, as if he was completely accepting of Urqopacha's touch. That is because of the singular scent with which the saddle has been coated. Alpacas find it very soothing. You know, I've never taken a good long look at one of you before, but you're actually kind of cute. Ah, you're only now noticing that? Zorolja, he's back. Having done exactly what he set out to do. Alpaca he's brought. Is it just me, or is it glowing? Heard tales of such a beast. They say the golden alpaca lives a solitary existence deep in the valley where it shuns the company of both man and its own kind. How did he manage to snare a prize like that? Peace knows its betters. Faced with overwhelming strength, it will yield rather than risk death. An apt illustration of how greatly the power of the first promise exceeds yours, Urqopacha. Strength alone won't win him our father's throne. I'll be the one to find the Golden City, and then Taral can remain at peace. An everlasting desire for peace can only be forged in the fires of war. To unite as one, the people must be taught. They must suffer the horror and hopelessness firsthand. Exhaustion from prolonged conflict, the wages of war's merciless nature, these are what moved the clans to join in the founding of Tuliolal all those years ago. Consider the younger generation of this village. Since birth have they basked in unbroken harmony, and behold, they regard war not as tragedy, but opportunity. Thus does the resilient son seek to provide education. He offers much-needed lessons in the realities of conquest and a renewed appreciation for peacetime. It is true that war's misery breeds a longing for peace. I have seen with my own eyes what becomes of an empire forged through the violence you propose, the rebellions it spawned, and the ruins it left behind. The Garlean Empire was a congregation of simpletons. The oppressed fought back against their oppressors, as well they should. Men are not beasts. Only a fool would seek to rule over all with the threat of force alone. That is why Gulul Jaja did not elevate the Mamul Jah, why he treated all clans with equal respect. However, First Promise has his gaze fixed upon more distant horizons. He would unite not only Tuliolal, but the star in its entirety. What? Why? I need not explain myself to you. Oh, well done indeed. The First Promise has completed the feat of gold with an appropriately golden flourish. May I present to you your much-deserved keystone. He's always been like that, never sharing his innermost thoughts with me or even with Koona. It's like we're not even family. I'll ponder Zorolja and his mysteries later. Right now I need to think about finishing the feat of gold. I have my saddle, I practice how to use it, so lead on to where the wild alpacas rove. The valley of Urqopacha is northwest of here. Come on, everyone. Even if we can't enter ourselves, we can see Urqopacha off on her hunt.
Good luck there, Promise!
Thanks. I'll need it. Truth be told, still not sure about alpacas. I'd rather not go near one if I can help it. But if I'm to rule this nation, then I'll need to learn how to live with them. Tural is their home too. Right. I'm off.
So, shall we head back to the ranch, or...?
I'm staying here.
As will I. Urqopacha is alone in this. The least we can do is stand watch and await her return.
It may be a while yet. Help me pitch the tent.
Trust a gleaner to come prepared for anything.
What's a gleaner?
Someone whose job it is to travel the world and procure uncommon things for their employers. Erenville specializes in finding animals, I believe.
But aren't you a Shaitana from Shak Tural? Why did you cross the salt?
When I was much younger, the thought of leaving Tural never even occurred to me. But then, some years ago, my mentor tasked me with a difficult hunt. Something I could never find, she said, so long as I clung to the familiar. She suggested that I leave home, leave Tural, and join the Gleaners of Sharlian. As one of their number, I could experience the world, immerse myself in myriad cultures and customs, see the many faces of nature. And once I had learned what is truly important, I would find that which I seek. My younger self took those words to heart, and off I went to become a gleaner.
Her words alone moved you to leave behind everything you'd ever known? You must have great respect for your mentor.
As it happens, gleaner work was much to my liking. And I all but forgot why I had pursued it in the first place. Yet, events conspired to put me back on the trail I'd abandoned.
Wait, are you saying you were tasked with finding the City of Gold?
I was. And though my hunt is now entangled with the right of succession, I mean to see it through.
Well then, I understand completely. We all have our reasons for seeking the Golden City. Which is all the more reason for us to work together.
Just so.
She should have been back by now. What if something's happened to her? We need to tell Tobli and arrange a search party.
Wait. Do you hear that?
They did it.
Yay.
You're utterly spent, and small wonder.
Well done, third promise.
The ranch isn't going anywhere. Take a rest in the tent.
I think I will. Thank you all for believing in me.
So relieved the third promise came back to us safely. The alpaca she tamed is a healthy-looking beast. Surely this will be enough to satisfy the feat of gold. Level 90, Urqopacha in a saddle. Complete. Level 90, knowing the Pelu Pelu. Mablu is minded to rush ahead to the village. Urqopacha still seems a bit unsteady on her feet, hardly surprising after she spent the night chasing alpacas. You know it will melt away fatigue like magic, though. Mate tea. I'll run to the ranch and get a pot brewing. That way you can take your time and the tea will be ready when you arrive. As Mablu so wisely suggested, we shall set a slower pace for our exhausted third promise. Cool. Came back ahead of the others, did you? I should hurry along with this tea then. Urqopacha can't be that far behind. Ooh, that tea really is magical. I feel better already. See you become more comfortable around our fuzzy friends. Watching this one taught me a lot about alpacas, what grasses and fruits they eat, what sounds they react to, their adorable little quirks. I guess I've grown kind of fond of them. Welcome back, third promise. Accomplished the feat of gold, have you? Yes, there's no mistaking a valley alpaca. I commend you on your success. Well done. Yes, we did it. Although I couldn't find a shiny one like Urqopacha did. I'd be surprised if you had. Golden alpacas are born but once every few decades. They are elusive, solitary creatures that are rarely seen, much less captured, thanks to their innate physical and magical gifts. Only a single other person is known to have caught one before, that being Urqopacha himself. Papa was chasing alpacas too? So my grandfather's stories say. It was before the founding of Tiliolol, in a time when the mountain giants, the Urqopacha, held our people in thrall. Compelled by their overlords, our forebears would ride their alpaca mounts to the highlands to deliver goods and foods to other tributes. Those were wretched days, to hear grandfather tell it. Then along came the young Urqopacha, yet unburdened by the mantle of Dawn Servant. Our people were amazed by this imposing two-headed figure equal to the Urqopacha in stature and puzzled by his entourage of mismatched companions. Some trembled in fear, believing a new conqueror had come. Galul Jaja showed no such inclinations. He sat and spoke with us, sipping from the cups of mate tea we offered him, and grew somber when he learned of our plight. None could have anticipated what their visitor decided to do next. Galul Jaja ascended the cliffs to face the giants and freed the Pelu Pelu from the Yokyoi's subjugation. He then turned an praising eye upon our riders and proposed we take to the road to peddle our beverages. The suggestion seemed obvious for one who traveled as he did, bent on fostering amity between the clans. So it was that a few words from Galul Jaja transformed us into a clan of itinerant merchants. I've never heard the bond Papa forged with Pelu Pelu spoken of in that way before. The saga is not so detailed. You may not know that Galul Jaja sought a sure-footed guide for his trek up to the highlands. Thus did he capture a golden alpaca. But both my brother and my father caught the rarest of creatures, while an ordinary one was the best I could manage. Feet required no more than that, Third Promise, and you brought back a perfectly wonderful beast. My Blue's right, you're a perfectly wonderful beast. If anyone's ordinary, it's me. Not only did you accomplish the feat of gold, you also made many trades and brought joy to many people in true Pelu Pelu fashion. I sorely doubt your sibling could have achieved the same result. You should be proud of the accomplishments which earned you your keystone. But this is what they look like. Go on, set it in the tablet. Perfect fit. That leaves 6 more. You're well on your way, Third Promise. We'd have been lost without you, Ma Blue. Thanks to you, I learned so much about the Pelu people and your customs. Might seem obvious, but I've come to realize the importance of properly knowing something. It was because I didn't understand alpacas that I was uncomfortable around them. I'm thankful to you as well, Urqopacha. You've given me the courage to say what I wasn't sure I could ever say. Tobly, I want to leave the ranch and become a merchant. I appreciate everything you've done for me, and I've loved every moment caring for the alpacas. But this is something I need to do. I need to walk my own path and make my own trades. As your parent, allow me to say one thing. I've always tried to give my wards lives filled with as much happiness as I could provide, yet never once have I wanted that to be the only happiness you knew. You have my blessing to walk any path you choose, Ma Blue. It gladdens me to hear you found a calling you wish to pursue with such passion. You will make an exceptional peddler, I'm sure of it. Thank you, Tobly. What did I tell you, Ma Blue? There's one last thing I can help you with, Third Promise. You need to find the Golden City, right? That's the end goal. And I suggest you talk to the Yokoi. They once ruled over far more than just Urqopacha and the Pelu Pelu. 1,000 years ago, they were the overlords of Yoktoral and all its peoples. During that era, the Pelu Pelu were commanded to search for the City of Gold. They scoured every corner of the continent, but never found any trace of that fabled place. But if they didn't find anything, what could the Yokoi have to tell us? I may not have found it, but the fact that they thought to look for it at all makes me curious. Perhaps there's value in delving into how the legend originated. You lose nothing from asking the question. Besides, if we're determined to follow the path of the saga, we'll be visiting the giants eventually. Oh, Kryl, I have a question I'd been meaning to ask, and since we finished with the feat, where did you acquire that earring? My earring? Do you recognize it? Yes, pieces just like it first became fashionable in Yogg-Togthal around 20 years ago. Since then, it's become common to wear one as a charm for safe travel. 20 years ago, right about the time my grandfather made his journey, yet the Dawn servant implied the earring was connected to the Golden City in some way. Surely there was more to its significance than simple fashion. If you want to know how it first came to be crafted, I could try to find out. Seeing as it's a regular seller for many merchants, I'm curious to learn about it myself. I would appreciate that very much, thank you. Jumping feet first into the peddler business, eh, Mablu? Right then, let's head back to Tuliolol and get ready to search for the next elector. Farewell for now, and thanks for all your help. I will become Dawn's servant, so make sure you set aside your best mezcal for the occasion. She has a fearsome opponent in that brother of hers. He even brought a golden alpaca to heel. You've heard Zoral-Jah's supporters talk. They might see opportunity in his expansionist ambitions, but they find the man himself intimidating, terrifying even. As I've grown to love Urqopacha, everyone she meets will come to love her too, and that's why she'll win the throne. You might be right, Mablu, you might be right. Liolo. Feels good to have the feet of gold safely under our belt, even if my victory pales beside Zoral-Jah and his shiny golden alpaca. No, I shouldn't let it bother me, and gods know you've all been so supportive, but I want to be strong or wise like my brothers, to be a promise that people respect. Which is not likely if I stand here carrying on and on about things. Let's move on. Back to Zabliavtai with us, and contest has hardly begun. And just like that, we found an elector and won our first keystone. I knew I was right to trust your instincts. Come on, let's keep things moving and march onwards to Kozamauka. Chances are good we'll find an elector there as well. Before we do anything, however, we should see what your patient Hanu friend has to say. Level 90, knowing the Pelu Pelu. Complete. All right. All right, I think that's going to be it for today. We'll come back and finish off 90 and 91 tomorrow. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.